Hey guys, this is Samantha from SamanthaRodriguezBlog.com, and I'm here again with my wonderful friend
Corey.
I don't know where he is. Corey.
Other side. There we go. Hi everybody, I'm Corey.
And we are here again to share with you guys our light, our experiences, our awareness. So we'll do kind of the same format. We'll talk a little bit about a specific topic, and then we will do a special distance healing for you. I'll do my portion, and then Corey will do his portion. And so just sit back, relax, be open to receiving, be open to any kind of energy that all the energy and any energy that you're open to receiving, basically. And so with that being said, again, we're just kind of starting this out. And so whatever resonates and whatever we kind of feel in the moment, that's a good topic. We basically talk about it. And so I actually recently kind of did a topic about this, and we both resonated. So we decided to talk about it. And the topic is
integration. Integrating all aspects into the now presence to really step into the wholeness of our being and to understand our sovereignty and our power. And so, yeah, we wanted to talk about integration a little bit and ways we do it and how important it is in the process.
Yes. So, so we'll talk a little bit about kind of defining it in our own ways, and then kind of our experience with it, what we've done, what we're doing even, and just to share kind of our journey with you, because I think it's really important for people. And I've always said this, and sometimes it's easier said than done for sure when you say, share your experience, share your journey, especially because so many people more people than you think are going through that same journey, or at one point people are going to be going through that journey. But then you're also kind of in that vulnerable state, or you're still dealing with you're still integrating, we're still integrating, him and I are still integrating, like all of us are still integrating. And so that step forward and sharing is normal, that it's a little bit sometimes scary in some sort, in some way, but we're going to be open with you, and we're going to again kind of share our experience and our journey, and what it means what integration means. And I'm always pretty open about stuff. When we're literally talking about this just now, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think I've ever really talked too much about this, or at least the energy, what it means. And so, do you want to start?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'd love to start with integration, because for me, integration started with, for me, it was always I thought it was integrating learning lessons. So for me, when cycles would go about and I would get to the end of a cycle, it was integrating the lesson. But what I stepped into when it came down to, which a topic I've seen a lot recently, and I know it's been a big one for me and for you, is sovereignty. And the sovereignty, which, in basic terms, is just power. And the power of ourselves is integrating every aspect of ourselves. And so for me, integration was always just new energies arrive, integrate the new learning lessons. But for me, it was integrating every aspect of myself, from the wounded child. After healing those aspects, every portion on my timeline where I've had what I would call a soul shard, a traumatic event, something that really disheartened me, or really changed my belief structure from childhood into the present, and being able to go out and literally through healing find these things and bring them back and integrate them into the being I am today. And a lot of the integration that I figured out was through shadow work, and not so much trying to, when I stepped into the shadow, not trying to release it and get rid of it, but really learn to embrace it as a part of who I am in the I am presence in the now moment. Because the biggest realization for me was that the loving and caring individual and compassionate individual today, right here in this very moment, in this point in time, is made up of so many aspects. And if I am to deny one aspect, a shadow aspect, an aspect I don't like, which is, egotistical or is really, really selfish, mean, things like that, all of those aspects, no matter how small or big they are, in the now presence combined with everything else illuminated creates the now presence that I am. And so I found it very important to not only integrate while I start to heal like the inner child and everything that's happened on my timeline, every big change and big shift in my awareness throughout my life, but also to integrate the darker parts of myself as well, and how important it is in the now presence, and to shed light on them, to take weight out of how depth and nasty they feel to us when we look at it isolated. But when we look at the shadow and we look at those dark aspects and recognize that other people have them, that we're all made up of dark and light, it really helped me to realize that, yeah, they're not so scary and not so bad.
Right. Absolutely. So for me, I think there's a pattern in my experience, my journey, when I go through things and I don't really know what I'm going through. Like, I don't really understand, or I don't really know there's like a term for it until later. And then I'm like, oh, that's what it is. That's what integration is. That's what I have been going through. And so now kind of, going back and trying to explain, I'm going to try my best. So, so through my learning experience, I've come to learn that I guess through our lifetime, all of the experiences that we've gone through, especially I'll say probably especially like the most traumatic and the ones that are most challenging ones, are the ones that kind of keep us, in some way you kind of disconnect from yourself through those experiences. And that's another term in itself. And so sometimes, because it's so painful at times and it's so challenging, there's reason for the integration not to take place, because you just kind of want to disconnect yourself from that experience, or you want to disconnect from that emotion. But in reality, you're going from this full, complete being to a smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, or you at least feel smaller and smaller and smaller. So integrating all of those aspects of yours, like all the experiences and the emotions, and however tragic they may be or dramatic they may be, there's a level of healing that occurs with the integration, and you become again this whole being, which is definitely part of the it's part of the awakening journey. Becoming, I'll say, more whole, I guess, in a way, because there's the teaching of like, you're already whole, like you're already perfect and you're already complete. But at the same time, there's more to that. Like, there's still aspects that we haven't integrated, that we haven't kind of merged with. Again, most of those are like the challenge ones, and the experiences where we go through a lot of drama and pain. And so for me, it was more the awareness of it. I was totally kind of blinded for a long time of these things. And it wasn't until I become like more aware of like, oh my gosh, I got this stuff. Like I've got these emotions, and I've got these that I've never really, I really never was aware. I was always kind of, for the most part, I was, I guess for most of my adult life, I was always kind of living in the future instead of the now. And so that kind of kept me like 2 steps, like if you imagine, I always kind of kept myself 2 steps away from myself. Like I never actually knew myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was part of my big integration.
Well, and dissociation is a still, it's like it's a flight technique. It's still a running away from, and this is why I think integration is so key, because I know for me with the one thing I've had to embrace with integration is the now presence and more mindfulness, and really trying to be present and grateful for right now. Because me being a recovering drug addict, my patterns are to run. My patterns are to run, whether it be in the past or in the future, or straight up into the astrals, and not deal with what's going on right here. That's a pattern. And integration for me, it was really important because it was bringing everything together and being able to look at it and love it unconditionally. And then learning more of when I start to drift into the future and I start to drift into the past. When I can start to find that 0 point, which is just right now, which is bringing everything back to right now. Because with the way that my mind works, and the way that I've seen a lot of people, is when you're living in the future, you're living with a lot of anxiety. You're living in the past, you're living with a lot of depression. And I had to learn too, there's a moment to step, I call it stepping out of the shadow, or stepping out of our past. Because when we start to heal, and I know you and I have had this discussion where, or I've brought it up where it's like something comes up and it's like, oh, we need to clear and transmute it. And it's like, for me, can get to a level of obsessiveness with when it comes down to healing, because I will be like, oh no, I'm being triggered seeing this. Oh no, oh no, I need to clear and transmute. I need to heal that. And it's like, a lot of this present moment too is just 100% acceptance of where we're at, and knowing that the healing happens organically and naturally. Like with the way the energies come and stuff, the trigger points are going to be set up, and the healing is going to occur in divine timing. And to not force play, and to really, a lot of this kind of obsessive nature of wanting to heal is still being unacceptable of where we're at right now. And that word, throat chakra, that word perfect, because I was about to talk about the word perfect. It's something that I always say, it's one I've been fighting a lot with recently, is saying, oh, I'm not going to do this perfectly. I'm not going to do this perfectly. I call it old paradigm perfect, which is like this need for completion. And now I'm having to recognize that there's a point to step in and to do this healing when it is triggered and you think it's the right time. And then a time too to kind of step back and just let the healing occur naturally. Because as we know with these energies, it's going to come to the surface and it's going to pop out eventually. Right. And so that's been a key part of this now moment, this presence with the integration is it's just being okay with where I'm at, and knowing that I have scars, but there's beauty in my scars. That's where the painting is made up that makes this strong, resilient, beautiful being that I am today. So.
Yeah, so you brought a really good point about being present in the moment. I think integration is definitely being here in the now, for sure. Big component of that. I also was going to talk about judgment, because I think one of the big reasons why we disassociate ourselves is because of judgment. We have...
Sorry, you're hitting on topic.
And judgment comes in so many ways and fashions, and from so many people. And that's one thing I feel like it's huge. It's a huge awareness, or a huge part of the awakening process. Just to be aware that you have judgment within, and that you're still judging. And we because we live in like this duality world right now, where it's like good, bad, high, low, we come to judge those aspects of ourselves. Exactly. And so that's a big reason, or one of the reasons why we tend to disassociate, because we we have judgment towards them. And so when you let go of the judgment and just see it as what it is, without any judgmental words, and you can still look at it and see what emotion is being triggered.
Mm-hmm.
And but even at that point, like letting go of even the emotion, like letting go of the of what it may mean to still be afraid, or still be angry, or still be in, in this, that I'll say teaching emotion, because it's there, there's also, like I said, a level of judgment towards the emotion that we shall feel.
Mm-hmm.
But when you let go, you strip yourself from those emotions, and you just kind of look at it as is. You see it from a whole different perspective, and you start the integration process, basically. I mean, obviously that's a whole other topic, but it's like, it's not that scary anymore. It's, it is what it is, and seeing it from like, okay, what did this teach me? How have I grown from this? How has my life changed, and how can I also, share that, and help other people through my experience? Mm-hmm. And then you start to like, oh, you know what? It's not that bad. And then you step into the role of like the powerful creator that you are, and that you probably came here to experience that because you knew that was going to change thousands and thousands of lives. Mm-hmm. And so
I was going to say too, it's like the other part of it too is being able to be aware that it's part of the natural human experience. If we've been conditioned with judgment, for like me, I've dealt with a lot of heavy external and internal judgment for a large majority of my life. And so I'm aware today that is still going to be a thought that is going to arise. And as long as I continue to be actively participating in my role on the spiritual journey and stepping aside, which is literally energetically shifting from here to here, which is moving up and seeing things from my higher perspective, and noting that this is a thought, it's complete mindfulness. Mindfulness defined as accepting without judgment. And so knowing that is a thought form that is attached to my being, and being able to literally pull back and just view it and go, yes, I see you're there and I know you're there, but I'm not going to have an emotional reaction to you. That's where the mastery lies. And it's really hard because for me, I'm so quick to, with the way that my life has worked is there's a thought like that, or a teaching thought. We're not going to say negative or fear or bad, but a teaching thought. And I'm glad you said that. A teaching thought will come up, and just being able to observe it, just go, okay, I see that you're there, but I'm not going to attach to you. And this is where sovereignty comes into place. Taking our power back is finally releasing ourselves from being able to have an emotional attachment to a thought form, which directly or indirectly isn't us. Is everything else that surrounds us that has come into our field, and we still have to live with it. We still have to live with other people's thought forms attaching to us, other people's judgments, people's not being able to understand us. And so just having to literally observe it and just be like, I'm aware you're there, but I'm not going to give you my power today, and taking our power back. And this is where the integration is key, in being able to not only heal, but bring back those aspects, because otherwise we're bypassing. Like, and I love Teal Swan. You and I are big fans of Teal Swan. Talks about spiritual bypassing, and it is so key for me. And I love it. And spiritual bypassing is essentially like, oh, here's something really unfavorable that's going on in my life. Let's not look on it. Let's just look on the bright side. No, what you're doing is you're still deflecting. You're deflecting from a very important issue that your spirit, your mind, whatever is looking at for an important reason that needs to be healed. And with bypassing, we're essentially not looking at that aspect, and we're denying it, which it's important with this wholeness and this sovereignty and taking our power back, is being able to look at it, recognize it, and take the power out of it. And so I don't know where I was going on with that with the tangent, but yeah, just observing things for what they are, but not having to attach to it too, and not having to release any responsibility that form is going to govern any part of my being today. And choosing to react to the thoughts that are going to be more heart-centered versus are going to pull you out of the heart and back up into the headspace.
Right. Absolutely. I guess I was gonna kind of sidetrack and just and talk about how looking at your shadow aspects, or looking at the parts of yourself that you've disconnected with and you've disintegrated with, as the energy of, we've talked about this, and this is kind of how, so the healing that I will lead later in this video is basically about integrating the aspects from our inner child that we've disconnected with, because we have a lot of that energy, especially because we know from 0 to 7 or so is when we're learning, we're sponges, and we're learning, and we're merging like the beliefs that other people, that our parents and society and others, their beliefs are kind of instilled in us. And so, but going back to like looking at every single aspect of yourself and every single experience that you've kind of disassociated with, as looking at you from like a child perspective, to me, I feel like that helps tremendously. Because if you're looking at yourself, if you're looking at this experience, if you're looking at this even emotion as a child, as a baby, completely, harmless, like, pure child that's just scared and that's just trying to hide and start, it's one of those things where you're like, what do you instinctively want to do when you see a child that is lonely, that is, all by itself and just wants to be loved? Yeah. You just want to go up there and, embrace it and give it a hug. And so that's, to me, that's been kind of my experience of like, this is my child version. Like, this is a version of myself that just needs my attention, needs my awareness, and needs to receive whatever it is that did not receive, in that experience, and kind of bringing it back into the body. So integrating it, like bringing it back to your body, your energy field, in a much more vibrationally aligned way. Yes. If that makes sense.
I've done the same, where I imagine, because I have a general image of the child, when I think of the child wound, and it's between a certain age frame of about, for me, 3 till about 8 years old. I have an image of that child and what it looks like. And what I've done is I imagine him coming up, and then just me holding him, letting him feel everything he wants to feel, and then holding him like you were my own child. And then imagining us glowing in golden light, and him glowing in golden light, and literally letting him melt into my heart space. Like it's the best kind of visualization process for this level of meditation, which it's really interesting, because once I started to do this, I recognize this is soul retrieval. This is shamanic soul retrieval. This is stuff that we've been doing for thousands of years. And it's literally just taking this in and letting it merge and meld within, because a lot of us, that is when our magic got shut off, was as a child. I know for me, that was when my beliefs were completely shattered and torn. And I feel like it happens for a lot of us that are on the ascension path right now, is we wake up and It's like we see the magic everywhere, but then society immediately tells us, no, don't, stop. And I know for me it was that I was watching David Blaine's Street Magic, and I watched him levitate, and I didn't know there was camera trickery, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, because I was my first hobby as a kid was magic, and watching him levitate, I was like, wow, this man just flew on screen. And then the news came out and said, oh, you know, look right here, this is all camera trickery. And that to me was immediately that man once again, or man is telling me that magic isn't real. And I knew intuitively growing up that magic was real. And I'm talking about energy, I'm talking about miracles, I'm talking about beauty, you know, things like that. And then when you start to, for me, that's when my friend said it this way, that's when your sword of light was taken away from you and it was put into your heart. And like literally part of this retrieval process was taking that sword of light out of my heart and taking it out as a wound and incorporating it is a part of my being. And that's where working with Archangel Michael really helped a lot, and really letting him come in and guide this level of healing and love too, is because he will help you with those things. And I wanted to share that because that was an important thing for me that really started to mess up my belief systems. And the further I'm getting on my journey and I'm starting to remember who I am at an energetic level, you'll start to see these patterns and like when things are taken away. And this is a beautiful part of the process, is the understanding, and being able to then honor it, like look back at it and no longer dwell in it, but honor it for the experience it was, to bring it into the now moment, to be able to, for me, I use it to be able to help another individual. And I know that's something that's really key in this healing process, is the understanding that like some of us went through all this because we knew we were going to step in as healers, and we wanted to let people know this is what I did to get out of it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, by the way. That was, we do go through a lot of, quite a bit of experiences when we were kids, that shake us and make us. And yeah, like when we're kids, we're so aware and we're so awake and we know more than most people realize. And then when, you know, people kind of, you know, shatter that, or like, you know, say things that make you think that, oh, you know, everything's just make believe and nothing's real. Definitely takes a big chunk of that, you know, whether it's, you know, through like it feels like a dagger through the heart, or it feels like, you know, the pain, just the perception, you know, kind of again just kind of bleeds in, or you're just kind of like completely disassociated and you don't trust yourself anymore. It's, well, for me personally, I feel like there's a couple of, I'm kind of still going through this, where it's like I don't remember too much, which it's normal too, when we don't really remember too much of stuff that has been hurtful or painful or traumatic. I mean, I can pinpoint, you know, a couple of things, but it wasn't, I guess it's not until, for me, it's until I become, you know, went through a couple of spiritual awakenings and became aware, and then started kind of going back and thinking like, oh yeah, that was a pretty, like, it's not even that traumatic in a way, but to me, like, it was pretty significant, I guess, being that I was quite sensitive as a child, and just becoming aware of like, oh man, like I'm still carrying that, and I still feel, you know, like I'm still afraid of rejection, and I'm still, you know, I still fear, you know, like I still have this lack of self-worth and lack of self-love within me. And it was like that to me is kind of one of the first things that helps, like just becoming aware this is a thing and that I'm carrying this. And then obviously through, different techniques and different modalities that I've resonated with, I've come to set the integration process in motion. Because it's definitely, right now, I guess, as we stand as just how things are with work right now, it's not too much of like an overnight thing where it's like, oh, that's it. I'm integrated.
Yeah, no.
It's quite a process. And I think all of us that are going through this and are aware of it right now and are going through it, and it's, it's definitely, finding or trying to be as non-judgmental as you possibly can. And realizing that your journey and your experience and is going to help so many more people that are coming right behind. There's so many people that are coming right behind us that is like, I still feel like it's going to be like a lot of people are waking up right now, and everybody's in different levels. But there's still waves and waves and waves of people that are waking each and every moment. And so for us, it's like, stepping into our power, like you said, and being okay with the process and allowing the process to occur. And even if you don't have to be completely, fully integrated yet to be able to change people's lives and to be able to share your story and make an impact, which is the beauty of this as well.
Well, and something really quick that I wanted to touch base on was not downplaying your trauma either through comparisons, because this was an important thing for me, is that when it came down to it, when I look back at the one thing I think the most that will hinder the healing journey of integration is by downplaying your pain, by making a comparison to another person. Well, I shouldn't be feeling this way because this person, which is always the bright side, like it's the difference between first world and third world problems. Like it's like, oh well, I should be grateful. I should be no. Don't downplay what you went through, and don't downplay how you felt about the emotion, but also don't maximize it. The key thing is to recognize it for what it is and to own it and to honor it, and then go, what can I do about it to integrate and to heal that? Because the one thing that I would do is I would go like, so for me, and this is a thought form that just popped up. I just mentioned about the David Blaine magic thing, and you were talking, and about a minute later, I was like, wow, that wasn't really traumatic, Corey. Like, are you kidding? That wasn't traumatic. Think about the viewers out there that have watched their loved ones getting shot. And, like I started to jump to this very maximized way of thinking. And this is I'm stating this because I want to show the vulnerability of my thought process of what happens. It's that I am not to downplay or to make comparisons to another individual's traumas, because our trauma is our trauma in our own right. The way we viewed things from that perspective, whether it was 5 years old, 7 years old, 30 years old, or 70 years old, is 100% correct at that very moment, because it is ours. That is, we take ownership of that. And we can't let other people step in, or let me say, it will hinder the healing if we let other people step in and try to downplay our trauma. Or on another level too, if we start to make comparisons that we shouldn't be feeling a certain way because of X, Y, and Z. And this is where reality steps in, and we have to look at it without minimizing it or maximizing it, but look at it for what it is, and then and own it and feel it and let that stuff pop to the surface. Because there's times that I've looked at things like, it's like the equivalent of I think of it like this, those like Hallmark commercials or the animal commercials where Sarah McLachlan starts singing Angel, like she comes on and it's these really sad like puppy, like it's like, if we look at that and an emotion pops to the surface, okay, the masculine, and I'm going to speak from the masculine point of view, the masculine point of view of this commercial coming on and Sarah McLachlan singing Angel and all these cute animals is, this is stupid, I shouldn't be feeling this. That's bypassing right there. Like if an emotion's being invoked and it's coming to the surface, the minute that you say I shouldn't, or you don't feel that emotion, or you stuff it down, you're not integrating, and you're also not releasing that. And this is where I wanted to say this, because from the masculine perspective, the hardest part about healing as a masculine and talking about healing out in the open is that we live in a society where it's suck it up, get over it. Especially coming from like the streets, coming from kind of like hanging out with people that are in a rougher crowd. Feeling things is not okay. Being sensitive is not okay. That's a weakness. And so if you come from that aspect of life too, we have to now reframe that and look at our sensitivity and our emotion as a strength, because it gives us now this level of adaptability. And when it comes down to healing in the light worker journey, if you're stepping into the light worker journey and you're questioning the sensitivity, or dislike your sensitivity, I ask you reframe it and look at it as a strength, because this is what is going to help to go through what we go through in this healing and this integrating and being able to help another individual. Because $10 says that now that we're talking about this more and being more out in the open about our sensitivity, there's more people that are going to come to the spotlight and say, you know what, I'm sensitive too. And this whole time I've been denying it because society has been telling me it's wrong, it's this, it's that, it's a weakness. And this is where this integration is key, is when we are integrating these aspects, we not only integrate them for what we are, but we have to put a new framework on them. And it's got to live in a new structure. Because like, I'll tell you what, the 5-year-old Corey that I viewed for the past 10 years of my life is not going to serve in the paradigm that I'm living in. But the 5-year-old Corey as 5-year-old Corey being integrated in all the learning lessons of the 30-year-old Corey is what is going to make that being. It needs to sit into a new framework and a new structure. And so this is where, when we are, we sometimes have to look at things in a different light. Sometimes we have to see these weaknesses as strengths and start to work onto the polar opposite of the old belief in order to change that. Because I noticed when I started to end these cycles of the way I was feeling and the kind of relationships I was integrating with and bringing into my life, I had to start to switch to the complete opposite emotion when it came to the framework of that 5-year-old Corey in that traumatic period. So for instance, the David Blaine magic thing seems so small in an old paradigm Corey and very, it doesn't mean anything. But this new paradigm Corey, the what I would call the new earth Corey that's coming to surface, sees how large actually that is in the aspect of finding my light and taking my power back and believing in the magic of the universe and in possibilities, in miracles, in imagination. And this is what I mean, is that framework has to change. It has to come in and live in a new home. And so sometimes we have to also not only accept what those aspects are, but we have to see them in new lenses too. And this is where the beauty of painting our reality is we can see it in whatever lens we want. We don't have to just view it from, one way or one perspective. Like you said, why not look at things from, I love this comment you made to me the other day, which is, why not view things as 5-year-old Corey looking through heart-shaped glasses? That visualization, it's very key. We can look at things in a new light when we integrate them as well to help, because it's still that energy being brought back into this now presence, but we get to see it in a different light. We get to put it in whatever light we want, hopefully in an optimistic light, because that's what's going to help you to carry on your journey. If you try to put it into a negative light, it'll probably skew things a little bit. So, but I wanted to talk a little bit about that framework.
That was great. I'm so glad that you touched on the masculine, because I think all of us, whether you're a guy or a girl, go through that. There's a whole, there's a whole perspective on society and how society wants you to react and act. And yeah, the whole emotions have been completely shut off for most of us for a long time.
Yeah, and the quick fix is I've talked to so many mothers recently that have young daughters that are like, oh my God, I have anxiety. Oh my gosh, I'm so ADHD. Oh my gosh, I'm OCD. Oh my gosh, because they're feeling things. They're feeling emotions, and our society has taught us to, once again, to fit it into a framework and to fit it into a box. I feel X, Y, Z. I am therefore, definition, go, stamp of approval. Here's a prescription, feel better. That's completely wrong. That's not how the human experience, as you and I both know this, Sam, is feeling, learning, growing, and expansion. Feeling is a vital part, including the teaching emotions. And this is where it's really sad to see how things have gone off course too in society, is that, you know, we're quickly being thrown prescriptions for any feeling that we have. That then all of a sudden you add this one thing, and I'll steer this back so we don't go off on a tangent too far about this system, but you get a prescription and all of a sudden now you got 20 or 30 other symptoms as a result of that one. So now you're making yourself a more complex individual, and we are now filling ourselves with chemicals that are getting further and further away from our sovereign intent. And it's because a lot of people don't want to look at the emotion. They don't want to go, what's causing this? Where is this coming from? Or they don't even want to identify the emotion. They don't want to simply put a label on it. And what's tough, though, is that when you feel something, as soon as you say, I am feeling, and you put a word on it, you now have just told the universe exactly what you're feeling, and it is going to provide everything you need in order to feel it. That's how the healing journey starts, is being able to sometimes identify. I know we're trying to stay away from frameworks and boxes, but being able to identify a feeling, especially when we're looking at the shadow aspects or old childhood wounds, is being able to identify that feeling, because that is the start of the journey, is that identity. Right. So I did want to mention that a little bit.
No, yeah, thank you. I just kind of, when you were talking about pills, I just kind of visualize like we're filling ourselves up with pills instead of integrating and filling ourselves up with ourselves.
Or with love.
So,
and acceptance. Like it's still a, I don't want to look at this. And you know what, I'm saying this from someone who's been on medication since he was 12 years old, who is in the midst and process of getting off all of his medications. You know, there was one point where I was on 13 different medications, and I weighed 290 pounds, and I was unhappy. And I was in a shamanic sickness, because once I heard the term shaman sickness, it was very true. I was denying important soul aspects that my soul needed in order to thrive and to survive. And that thus kept this spiral of lack, of judgment, lack of self-worth, things like that. And this is where, you know, healing doesn't want to get discussed a whole lot in the public spotlight, because once again, big pharma, the pharmaceutical companies, don't want us to heal. They want us to keep coming back through the revolving door to pay for all those prescriptions. And it caused a lot of controversy. But now it's coming out into the spotlight more and more, and this awakening process has, people are starting to recognize that we can heal ourselves. We can heal ourselves. Like, we are made up of mostly energy. Energy is never created nor destroyed. It always exists. And so this energy can be removed and rebuilt, and we can bring in new energy. And that's the beautiful thing of integration too, is not only integrating old aspects of ourselves, but be able to create space for new things to arrive and to let those things manifest into our reality accordingly.
Yep, that's so true. And you know, and so, you know, we're both going through this as we speak. Like, we're still in that integration. Like I said, it's not right now as we stand, it's not an overnight thing, but it's being okay with the journey and you know, enjoying the journey and just kind of seeing it, you know, kind of seeing how our story and our integration and our experiences have impacted our lives in a positive way, and how, you know, they're going to also help other people is so key, instead of like, you know, being judgmental, or being like, okay, you know, like I've been working on myself, I've been doing this for so long, I've been, you know, on this path for so long, and, you know, I'm still working on myself. You know, it's like, let go of the judgment and letting go of the time frame of how long it's going to take. Because we just have an infinite amount of aspects of ourselves.
Exactly.
You know? And so, sorry.
No.
Just the awareness of that. This can, you know, let that kind of sit in and be like, you know what, I am right where I need to be. and everything is happening in perfect timing, and you know, you can still impact, and you can still, you know, live your purpose and live your mission as you're still going through these aspects and these the integration process.
Well, and the realization too of it's a marathon, not a sprint, is that also too, when we are healing and integrating and we are clearing this stuff up, what we are doing is we are now adding years onto our life, because we're starting to make healthier decisions. We're starting to live in love. Those lower frequency emotions that are attaching to our ankles and keeping us heavy and weighed down are being released. We start to eat healthier. We start to be grateful. All these things start to add up. We're now adding years onto our lives. So no longer is it a rush. No longer is it a, let's jump right in. Because this is an old thing too, is when I am self-destructing and I'm killing myself, time now is, I had to go from being the hare to being the tortoise, because I recognized, wait a minute, all these things I'm doing right now are adding years onto my life. So now I don't have to be in a rush to like get everything done. And it's still an old, what I call the old paradigm, survival of the fittest, first, second, third place, kind of the race, you know. And it's like, there doesn't need to be, we're all winning right now. We're all killing it right now. If you woke up this morning and you sucked air and you got up and you decided to take a shower and do something for yourself good, hell yeah, you're winning right now. Because you know, this is not an easy process. When I first stepped into spiritual awakening, I thought sunshine, rainbows, puppy farts, Skittles, this is going to be great. Happiness, happiness, happiness. And little did I understand that that is not enlightenment at all. It's not. It's a lot of it can be difficult. It can be amazing, but it's also difficult. But that's reality. And the thing is that whatever you can do actively today to participate in your life, whether it's just to get out of bed and to make yourself breakfast, or to tell yourself you love yourself, or to get up and run a freaking marathon, no matter what, how small or how big that goal is, do something, one thing for yourself a day. And be proud that you did that, because I know that for me, with energies that have arrived and the things that I've faced, especially when I start to get a leveling up period and people fall out of resonance on my journey, and I'm back to that solo dark night of the soul, which I know you understand a whole lot. Sometimes just getting up and smiling a little bit was like a miracle for the day. And those of us that are awakened understand what it's like to have to keep things super simple sometimes. So if you just get up out of morning and you just comb your hair and you go take a walk around the block and come back inside, you're a miracle. And what you're doing is a huge feat, because this isn't easy, especially when you stepped into the awakening process and you didn't necessarily think you signed up for the awakening process. Let's just put it that way. Because a lot of us are like, well, I didn't sign up for this, but now where I'm at in my journey, I know I signed up for this a long time ago, way before I was ever born. But consciously now, like, these energies are rising, it's hard. So just, I wanted to say that to the viewers out there, if you're having a tough time, like, cut yourself slack. And some days you're going to get out of bed and you're going to be the dancing queen, you know, like young and killing it on the streets. There's going to be some days where you are Eeyore, and it's okay. We love you. And as long as you love yourself during the journey too, and learn to honor that, it'll get easier, especially with the integration, dude. I've been going through probably like a month-long integration recently, and I'm slowly tiptoeing out of it, but it's moving forward. It's taking steps forward. You know, and when you get to this point of your journey, whether it's your first day or your first decade, and you know, you look up the stairs and it seems like such a gigantic feat to get to the top of the mountain, but if you look back, look how far you've come.
Yes.
That's where you
absolutely
go.
Absolutely.
You know, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, and as you're integrating, you may not see the huge change immediately, but what's happening is and I was telling you about this, Sam, is there's these little tiny changes that occur over, we call it spiritual awakening of the educational variety. It's not big burning bush in your face. It's slow and steady, and the change usually you won't see within yourselves, but others from the outside perspective can see the change. And that's this integration process, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. But as you're doing that, I ask, if you feel like you're at a standstill, you're kind of at a loss, just stop and reflect back. Now, don't dwell on the past, but reflect back about 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades, and then look at where you're at now, and that's when you'll be astonished at the growth and the expansion that's come from your journey.
Absolutely. Very nicely said. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Cool. So we're gonna do it the same way. I'm gonna guide you through a little meditation, and then Corey is going to do.
Actually, can we do something different?
Oh, sure.
You do the guided meditation, and I'm just gonna be throwing Reiki energy while you're doing your energy thing too.
Okay.
So we'll just kind of incorporate. I'm gonna turn my camera off. I know you don't like having your hands all crazy on camera, even though one day I wish I had access to be able to like just like click a button and just like spy in on Sam moving her hands all crazy.
Well, it's funny because I have like different plans and different visions of how to do that, because we'll talk more about that later.
So are you doing an integrating meditation?
So yes.
Okay, I'm just curious because I have one I can do, but like I don't know if how you're gonna do your integration. So I don't just do yours.
I don't either.
This is what happens when you're in flow state. We're just gonna let it happen. Okay.
Well, so we can do I can do the basic connection, grounding, centering, expansion portion of it, and then we can switch over to you.
Okay, and I'll connect them to the inner child.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. You down?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty. So I'm going to go ahead and forget how to shut off my video here. How did we do it last time? Click stop video. I do not want to stop recording them.
I know, right? No, you won't.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video or let's see. Whew. Okay. Yeah.
Woo!
I know, right? That was same
thing. Awesome. Okay. So we're just going to start with closing our eyes, getting a comfortable place, comfortable position. I'm very laid back when it comes to meditating. So just be in a comfortable position. You can lay back, lay down. Do that. If not, just put your both feet on the ground. And we're going to take a couple of deep breaths. In through the heart and out. So just imagine as you're inhaling, more light coming through, more love, more awareness, more truth, just more of who you are coming into your space. And as we exhale, just release, clear, be open and ready to let go. Anything and everything that you are ready to let go of in this moment. So take another deep breath in through the heart. And as you exhale, just imagine the energy from your heart flowing down your body into the ground, all the way to the center of the planet. And we're integrating you to Earth so that you feel completely safe and supported as we do this. And then take another deep breath in through your heart. And as you exhale, take the energy up towards the sky. And just connect to the space where you can see a lot of light coming through. And allow that light to flow all the way down into your head. So open up your crown so that you can receive this energy. Just imagine this energy flowing sideways into your brain and even outside of your brain, expanding your awareness, expanding your truth, expanding your knowing. And then taking it down your third eye, open up your third eye to receive this energy. Allowing this light to fill you, fill your third eye. With more of who you are, more of your spiritual gifts, your spiritual abilities, your healing powers, more knowing, more guidance, and again, expanding it sideways. Past your face, past your head. And then taking it down your throat, opening up your throat so that you can receive this energy. Allowing this energy to just wash away anything heavy, any blocks to speaking, to vocalizing, to creating through words and sounds. Expand this energy sideways, past your neck, creating more room for this light to flow. And then just take it down your shoulders and down your back. Imagine kind of a shower of light washing away anything heavy, any burdens, any stress, anything that you might have been carrying from others, from the past. Just kind of watch that just being washed away. And then take the light down your arms, down your elbows, and down your hands. Completely open to receiving, completely open to being receptive to this energy, receptive to allowing yourself to come back, integrating yourself back into yourself. And then taking it into your heart space, opening up your heart to receive this energy and expand sideways and just merge with the energy of love, of light, of truth. Allowing your channels to your heart to be constant flow, the constant exchange in and out of giving and receiving energy, this light and this love that's all around you. And expand it again sideways, past your body. And then taking it down your solar plexus, opening up your solar plexus to receive this light. And allow your body, this energy center, to be filled up with more of who you are. Strong, courageous, being that you are, ready to move forward, standing in your truth, completely confident. And allow that energy to flow sideways again, making more room for more light. And then taking it down your sacral, opening this area up so that you can receive this light and fill yourself up with, again, more of who you are. So you can feel completely open to your emotions, feeling good, feeling happy, feeling pleasure, all of your emotions to be balanced out, integrating with them, and sending this energy sideways, 360 degrees, kind of allowing yourself to visualize this energy outside of your body. And then taking it down your root, your hips, opening them up, really wide open. And again, sideways, imagine it going past your body. And allow this light to wash away anywhere you felt fearful, anywhere you felt scared, clearing and washing away, and allowing this light to integrate back into your body so that you can feel safe, so that you can feel supported, so that you can feel grounded. Feel and know the truth of who you are and why you're here and how loved and supported you are here. And everything is for you. Everything is happening for you right now. And then take that energy down your legs, down your knees, down your feet. Opening these up, opening these energies in your legs and feet so that you can move forward, walk forward, step forward towards the direction that you want. Stepping into yourself, inviting yourself to come back as well inside. And then from your feet, take it into the earth, all the way down into the center of the planet. And in the center of the planet, just imagine this beautiful, lovely, amazing, nurturing, motherly kind of energy, giving you a great big hug. And just imagine this beautiful place full of love and laughter and joy and fun and everything that you want is right here. So take that energy, bring it all the way back up into your feet, up your legs, your hips, your chest, your neck, all the way back up to the sky. And then just pull both of the energies from above and below into your heart. Integrate both of these energies into your heart, merge them, and kind of imagine like a big ball of light in your heart. And we're going to shine your light 360 degrees around you, expanding it past your body, expanding it past the room you're in, expanding it out past the neighborhood, past your neighborhood, past your city, past your country, past the planet. Just get as big and bright as you can imagine. I'm just going to tune back into your body, be present with your body as we go into the next part.
So first off, let's start out this meditation with a thanks and a level of gratitude for Sam for what she just did for you, to help you connect you and to expand you and to keep you expanded. And I'm now going to help you journey into the enchanted forest to retrieve an aspect of yourself. So what I want you to imagine is I want you to imagine yourself at a forest, at the beginning of a forest. You're about to enter the unknown, the void. There's no clear path. That's why we're here. We're here today because you are going to pave your way to your being, and to all aspects of yourself that exist in the past, present, future, and in other dimensions, and you're going to meet all of them and help to integrate all of them into your being. So as you are sitting here at the beginning of the forest, do not fear what's in the forest, because you are completely guided and completely protected. This is a safe zone, and in order for you to feel safe, I'm actually going to call Archangel Michael to come down from the heavens right now. Watch him come down, and you're going to notice this bright blue light coming from the sky, down from the heavens, and right in front of you planted this beautiful mystical being with this sword of blue flame energy. Archangel Michael is now handing over this sword for you, because this is your sword from here on out to be able to conquer this quest of being able to meet yourself. Pick any part of the forest that you want to enter in, because you're going to be blazing the way. Your light that you shine, that Sam just connected you to, is going to pave the way as you are moving through. So do not judge the direction where you're going. Just keep moving forward, and wherever you feel to turn to, turn to. So we're going to start at an opening. Imagine yourself walking through this forest. It's dark. There's a lot of unsurety of where you're going to end up or where you'll be, but know that you are blazing the trail now, and you are going to find your way in and your way out of this forest. And after this first time of doing this, you're always going to have a clear direction to be able to go right back to yourself to retrieve any aspect that exists. So wielding your sword with bright blue flames popping out of it, start walking forward through the forest. And just feel your way through. What does the forest look like? What does it smell like? Do you feel protected? Because you are. As you're starting to walk through this forest, you notice that you feel like something's watching you. Something's in the forest. And as this light keeps illuminating brighter and brighter, you look around and you see it's your ancestors. They're completely guiding you and supporting you. It's your friends, it's your loved ones. They're cheering you on as you are going right into the darkness to retrieve any aspect of yourself that you need. You continue to walk forward. You see it clearly. You see this bright illumination just in the distance. Keep following that. Keep going right to that clearing. As you're taking these steps forward, feeling more and more sure of what you are doing and excited for the feeling and the integration that's going to come. Look down at the ground. Take a stop for a second and look back. And look at this beautiful trail you just paved your way through. Where there once was no opening and no trail, because of where you're at, because of your journey, you have now paved the way to be able to come in and out of this forest and be able to retrieve any aspect of yourself that you ever need to. And you also can come to this part of the forest whenever you want to talk to these aspects for answers or for understanding. So we're going to keep moving forward. As you're moving forward, about 6 feet ahead of you, right in front of you, is this gigantic enchanted circle. So as you come to the beginning of this circle, you step in and it's this big clearing in the trees. The forest now has this illuminated, clear, circular, completely empty space. Walk into this space and just bask in the light of glory that's here. This is a protected space. This is a space of sovereignty. It is a space of freedom. It is a spot of illumination. And it was created by God's source creator just for you to be able to retrieve any aspect you need of yourself. As you're wielding this blue sword still, I ask that you place it beside you. And Archangel Michael now is going to come down. He's placing this blue sword, this blue flame sword, on all sides of the circle. It is completely guided and protected. completely guided and protected. And imagine this gold glowing light just illuminating the entire presence of that area and still illuminating your entire being. This light is coming from not only God, source, creator, but it is coming from you too, because the way that you paved your way into this spot was through this light. So let these lights merge and recognize that you are one right now. You are whole just as you are, but you are now ready to retreat. So as you're sitting and looking at this circle, get up and go to the middle of the circle. And we're now going to call in every high vibrational being of light, all the archangels, all the guardian angels, and any ancestors you need right now to be able to stand beside you and to protect you and to guide you into retrieve these aspects. As you feel their light and their love supporting you, it's now time to call in every aspect of your being. So I now call in every single aspect of you to come and to join this circle and to meet you. You're going to notice all these people starting to walk through this forest that we thought had no trails. You're going to start to see these faces illuminate and come forward. It is your child self. It is your teenager self. It is your future self. It is your past lives. It's even you existing on other timelines coming forth now and meeting you. They are now encompassing your entire being. So you're standing in the center and just take a quick 360 and scan around and look at every aspect of yourself. Completely whole and completely present and completely ready to come in and to meet you in this very moment so you can finally step into your sovereignty and step into your power and to become what you were always destined to be. As you're sitting here, sit down into a cross-legged position. Close your eyes and let's take 3 deep breaths. So big inhale. Exhale through the mouth. More inhale. Exhale through the mouth. One more inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. It's now time to welcome these beings into your presence and to let every aspect of you finally join and merge with you. So I want you to imagine now that there's a water slide connecting your head to your heart. As you're sitting in the middle of this circle, imagine you get on top of the water slide in your head, you're sliding this water slide all the way down into your heart space. As you get to the bottom of the slide, hop off the slide. Imagine 2 big barn doors right in front of you. Open up these barn doors. And as you're looking through your heart space, you see you're right where you're supposed to be, right in the middle of the circle, and you are ready for all these aspects to come into your being. So during this process, I'm now going to call on Archangel Michael once again to come in to guide and protect. And I'm going to call in Saint Germain to bring the violet flame and to integrate, to be able to burn away any lower vibrational energies or burn any cords that are going to keep you stuck in an old paradigm. Because as you're integrating all of these aspects of your being into the now moment, this now presence, it is also time to wash away any lower vibrational energies or any lower vibrational cords, so you can be 100% sovereign and 100% powerful in your being. It's now time to call them in. So I ask that in your mind's eye, you say to yourself, I am ready to receive and to integrate. As soon as you command this, the process has started. You're going to feel all of your being start to come up and to walk up and inside you, walk closer to you. And imagine joining a single file line right in front of you. With your heart open, I ask that you open your arms up and be open to receiving every aspect of this. So imagine all of them now merging into one beautiful golden light presence. Imagine every being from the past, the present, the future, and other timelines coming now into this big golden high vibrational being. Be ready to now open and to receive this being with love, and to honor it, and to love it, and to hold it, and to cherish it. Stand up and look at this being eye to eye, and recognize that this is someone you know. This is someone you've known for lifetimes upon lifetimes. Even though it's just energy and there's no face to it, no name to it, no clear representation, it is just a form, you recognize that this is just your higher self. Look at it and give it a hug. Open up your arms and let your higher self come in and give you a big old golden hug. As you're holding this hug, thank every aspect of your being for everything that has happened or is going to occur. That is an important learning lesson to step into your power and into your sovereignty, and thank it and honor it, and let it know that it's okay and you're ready to integrate all these aspects to step into who you are, because who you are is beautiful, who you are is perfect, and who you are is completely ready to integrate into you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you take a deep breath, count to 4. You're going to hold your breath for 4 seconds, and then you're going to exhale for 4 seconds. Now, before this breathing starts, and I'll tell you when to start, what I want you to do is when you are inhaling and holding your breath, at the end of the 4 count, imagine yourself merging this presence, this golden being with you, and pushing it into your heart space. It's like you're tightening the hug and letting this being completely in and let it embody you. So let's go ahead and start the 4-4-4 breath. Let's go ahead and inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. As you start to exhale, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Imagine this being merging with your body and illuminating your entire being. You feel this overwhelming love, joy, confusion, maybe even a little pain. Whatever emotion comes to the surface, do not judge it. Just let it come up. This is a safe and protected zone. So if you start crying, or you start belly laughing, or you feel a little fear, it's okay. Right now is a very important process. You are now incorporating every aspect of your being into the now presence and really stepping into your sovereignty. So go ahead and just sit with this warm, glowing illumination with you. Imagine yourself as you're still open, connected to this source energy this entire time. I'm now going to call back in Archangel Michael and Archangel Metatron and Saint Germain to come heal, cleanse, and to send the violet flame from Saint Germain to help close up any aspects and to help to integrate this team. So imagine this purple violet flame coming down and entering your field, and let it illuminate your aura and illuminate your inner being as well. And feel this glow and feel this warmth come within you, this pure love and this pure understanding of who you are. Now, as you are starting to integrate with this aspect, feel it activate you. Feel at a cellular level the ignition of who you are, and in this remembrance, feel your DNA being activated. Feel this new level of understanding and this new found strength you're going to have, that you are now a complete whole and integrated being. It's now time to exit the forest. So go ahead and honor this magic circle that you just entered to be able to retrieve any aspect of yourself, and know that you can come back here any point in time that you want. This is your space, your protected space, to be able to meet any aspect, to ask questions, or retrieve any further aspects that you want to. Now it's time to turn around 180 degrees and look at that opening that you created. Look at that trail that is clear out of the forest now. This trail that you were so fearful of before is now something that you burnt yourself with your light and with your source love, and that sword of light that Archangel Michael had brought to you. You have paved the way in and out of your subconscious and in and out of any part of yourself to be able to come into retrieve, and be proud of that. It's not an easy process. Not a lot of people can make it through the forest, but you did, protected and safe. And know now that in any point in your journey, you've been to the darkest aspect of your life, which is yourself. There is no more fear when you encounter anything in your life journey anymore, because You just went into the deepest and darkest aspects of your world, which is you. Go ahead now and start walking through the forest and feel your ancestors rooting you on. Your family members, your loved ones are standing in the trees, illuminated as well, cheering you on for the great thing you just did of being able to help yourself out and to give yourself that self-love. So you're walking out of the forest now, getting to the edge. Turn around and look at the entrance and bow to it and honor it and thank the forest for being able to protect you, to guide you, and feel good and grateful for yourself for what you just did and what you just accomplished, because it is no easy feat. And recognize now that you can do this not only for anyone else to help them out, but you can do this for yourself at any point in time to integrate any part of your being. And you now have a magic circle. You have a protected space where you can meet anybody you want that was alive or is no longer alive, and you can be able to talk to them, or you can even do whatever you want in this circle. This circle is yours. Thank the forest for this beautiful journey, and now it's time to go back about your day and let this integration process take through for you. It may be a little tough. Treat yourself with kindness. Drink lots of water, and if anything pops to the surface, let it pop to the surface. There's no clear path for healing, so whatever happens, happens, and be very thankful for the process as you're now ready to step into who you are, to step into your power, and to be completely fulfilled in every aspect of your journey. So go ahead and start wiggling your hands and wiggle your toes if you're still in the meditation space. Feel yourself coming back into your body now. Just know you are safe and you are protected, and as you are ready, start to open up your eyes. Look at the beautiful world around you and welcome yourself to this new paradigm you're living in. Completely healed and full. That's all I got.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. Here we are again.
Here we are again.
Woo!
What's up, Jello?
So, actually, someone commented, thank you so much. That was amazing. You kind of knocked me out.
Sorry. My bad.
But I wanted to mention something because this came up on my last video. So I was able to upload it last night. And someone mentioned that she fell asleep. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to just kind of quickly interject because it is actually quite normal if you're going through, a meditation, or if you're going through an actual, healing and clearing. It is very normal to fall asleep. It is so normal to get knocked out. And one of the things that my mentor says is usually your soul actually kind of knocks you out so that it can work faster and it can, actually integrate it. So yeah, I sometimes I'm slow, and so like your soul just kind of knocks your human consciousness so that it works faster.
Exactly.
So
we have resistance. We still have parts of us that don't want to be healed. There are times where I'm doing healings, like guided meditation healings, where my mind will stop me, will try to stop me. And so if you fall asleep, it's a good thing, because all of a sudden you're now stepping aside and you're letting the healing take over, because we can hinder our own healing. It is right. Especially when you're going through like inner child and integration of like your other aspects of yourself. Your child is still in that fear-based program, fear-based mode, and so it doesn't really want to let go of that. Yes.
Or it doesn't want to emerge. And so yeah, your soul is actually gifting you with like, okay, let's knock you out a little bit so that we can actually do this. Yeah. And then you can always go back and listen to it as many times. It's again, like I said, it's not just a one step process and I'm just gonna listen to it once. It is not, guys. It is a consistent, continuous process of listening and listening and doing it over and over and over.
Yeah.
Um,
There's always something new you can get from it, because what happens too is that, remember that when you're healing, your higher self is only going to heal what you're ready to heal. And so if you're listening to something, you can listen to it 40 different times, and your higher self every single time is going to heal another. It's not like the journey is ever over. I feel like when the healing journey is over, that's when our time is up here. And so what's going to happen though too is you're never gonna be forced to heal anything you aren't ready for.
Right.
So different things will be filtered through, and you'll be able to heal different aspects at different times.
Right. I think, well, when you said when you're completely healed, your time is over. Not for me.
Well, I mean, in this realm, in this plane, it's like when I feel like more, without having to go into controversial subjects a little bit, when the lessons are complete, it is time to ascend.
Right, but then we also have a choice of physically ascending in this reality.
Yes, very true.
So it's your choice, basically. Each individual choice. Yes. Each individual one of us has a choice. Yes. Wow, that was pretty powerful.
It was very, very good.
I'm still knocked out.
I am too, and I have to head up. I like really. I'm feeling good, but I'm like, oh crap! I have to go to a plant energy, or I have to go to a plant medicine class, and I gotta hop on the bus. And yeah, no, I got a little bit of time. I'm okay, but like, I'm like, oh no, now I have to get up and do things. I can't take a nap. It's okay.
Okay. Wow. All right. So yeah, if you need more time to like integrate and rest and sleep and do what you're gonna do, drink lots of water. Epsom salt is one of my favorite things as well. So use Epsom salt and allow yourself to, take the time that you need in order to, in order to integrate, in order to continue to integrate, in order to continue to heal all of your aspects and bring them back into yourself.
Yes, and rest is important, and this healing too, you're healing for the collective. Remember that. Anyone out there, when you're healing, you're not only healing for yourself, you're helping out the collective too. So what's going on with you creates a ripple effect that is going to affect everybody, including generations to come. So what you're doing is a beautiful thing, not only for yourself and for your ancestors, but for future generations that are going to be able to live in a better world because of what we're doing and the hard work we're putting in right now. So
absolutely.
Give yourself kudos.
Yeah, nothing you do is in vain.
Never.
Nothing. So give yourself a huge pat on the back. Thank you for allowing yourself, for being here. Thank you for allowing us to be in your space and in your reality. If there's anything we can do, you can always reach out to us. We would love to assist you, help you, support you in any way that we can. So we'll put all of our links in the bottom. Comment below and let us know if this resonated. Let us know, if you'd like to share anything in your journey. Let us know how you felt after the meditation as well, if you're awake. And so, yeah, we're definitely happy to be here. I love doing these with you, Corey, and so we'll just continue to do them as long as we're guided to, or as long as we can. Anything else?
No, I love it too, and I love being able to share this and be able to build out with a fellow light worker. And I appreciate you, Sam, for everything not only you've done for me, you've done for the collective, and what you're doing for yourself.
I'm here,
and it means a lot. And I'm super happy to have a channel to be able to step forth and be able to put this stuff out on. And thanks to you and what you did for me and the clearing that got me into this wonderful spot in life. So anyway, thank you, and thanks to everyone out there for the continued support. Thank you to everyone that clicks like, and for everyone that clicks dislike. And if you want to click dislike, click it twice. I heard that on a YouTube video the other day, and I was like, it's amazing. And if someone picks it up, I hope they get it. Yeah, if you want to click it twice.
That is so funny.
Yeah, it's not mine. I didn't coin that. I'm passing the lightworker joke around. So.
Oh yes, thank you. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. All right, that's it. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us, and I hope to see you on our next one.
All righty. Namaste.
Namaste.